All right. It says we're live.
And we totally are.
Sweet. Johnny Midnight.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. I have something amazing that I sent you. I don't know if you watched it, but I have to share it with the world because I think it's super important.
Oh, the video, right?
Yes. Did you see Trump's little round table with
The one that had no women in it, yeah?
the one that was free of all the ones that get in the way and cause all the problems? So, yeah.
Right. No, I never really got to have a good look at it yet. So this is going to be kind of a surprise for me as to
Absolutely.
what they have to say. And what is tonight's topic? Restoring meritocracy.
Takes courage, discipline, accountability, and going back to the basics.
I know. And you know why we need to go back to the basics? Because of platform decay. And I've talked to you about this before. You might know it as enshittification.
Yep.
When they're fixing things that aren't broken,
Yeah.
right? They
Yeah.
take away vital things like the delete button or the back button on a browser, things like that, that nobody asked for. It's not cutting any costs. Well, they just liked it better that way.
They change things for the sake of changing things.
Right. And,
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
don't
That's
really
how
know
you know
what it
there's a
is.
woman involved. That's how you know there's a woman
Right.
involved.
There's water in my body. There's water in the ocean, and the ocean told me to get rid of the back button on the browser. Fact. And 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 now everybody has to suffer for it.
Yes.
But if we go back to the basics and put the back button on the browser and the
Yeah.
delete button, then we have a functioning website again, or a car, or a home, or an appliance, and we don't
Yeah.
have it anymore.
You know what's crazy? I experienced this technology addition and the enshittification. I went to Walgreens the other night. I had a piece of paper in my hand that I
Hmm.
needed 10 copies of.
Right. Okay.
They had a printer there. And I just
Like,
walked in and
yeah,
I was like, I need 10 copies of this. And they're like,
fuck yeah,
oh,
paper, dude.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
paper. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, well, do you have a picture of it? I was like, this? They're
I
like, well,
got the real thing.
you have to use the kiosk. And 45 minutes later, I finally got my 10 copies, and they were smaller.
Okay. Okay. So they
I was
reduced
upset.
it. How much did they ask you to pay for 10 copies?
$3. The,
Okay.
the, the first gentleman that was stoned and helped me plug in
Hmm.
my phone and do all the things and
He was
he got the
stoned.
10
Okay. Yeah.
and it said $44. I was like, whoa, dude, like, is that the price? And he's like, yeah. I was like, no. What do you mean? Yeah, I'm not paying $44 for 10 copies of this. And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, well, hold on, let me check. And then he hits the back button many, many, many times to the main screen.
At least they didn't get rid of the back button
Yeah,
there.
yeah, they have
Cool.
the back button there. And then he's like, well, let's try documents. He said like photo, like photocopies.
Mm.
I was just,
Up here in Wisconsin, be like, geez, that's kind of spendy. $45. What the fuck?
it was just so funny because I pointed at it. I saw the total 44. I was like, dude, is that the price? And he's like, yeah. I was like, no.
No. I'm
Yeah,
totally fucking tarded, man. I
it
have a
took,
rad life.
it took three different employees to figure out how to accomplish the thing. And I was like, you have a printer right there, right?
For training or no training whatsoever, just get the warm body out, make sure they're not white males,
Yeah,
and
yeah, look at my
voila.
white males. None of them were. It was a black male that was
Hmm.
stoned as shit. And then two
Right.
females that were over there like just chatting and chatting while he was struggling. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, this
Yeah.
sucks. I won't.
Like back in the 1970s, if that technology existed, let's say, there'd be a white guy going, I'm going to get to the bottom of this, by God. And like he would, in 10 minutes, you'd have the correct price. He'd figure it out. This guy did, but he was going to let you like pay 44 bucks had you not caught it.
And I would have gotten like pictures, like a gloss,
Yeah.
because he's like gloss your mat. I was like, what? Matt, obviously. It didn't register that it was pictures.
Like, I don't know anybody named Matt. Like, who's
Yeah.
named Matt anymore? What the fuck? But
It was an experience. It was 45 minutes of my life I'll never get back. But it just
you won't.
reminded me of the shitification. Like, I was thinking about you in
Yeah.
that moment. I was like, this is shit.
Yeah. I'm the reminder to everyone when you experience shit or shitification. So there you have it. Speaking of platform decay and going back to basics, let's go take a look at the video and you guide me through it.
Okay, this was amazing.
Right on.
So, President Trump hosts a cabinet meeting. And here we got Rubio and Hegseth, which I would love to see either one of them as president in the future. But actually, this thing. First, Rubio mentioned something, and then Hegseth mentioned something.
Not that they're not important, but there's some other issues happening around the world, Mr. President, that you've shown great leadership in that have not gotten nearly as much attention. I think they deserve to mention today. The first is the International Criminal Court is an illegitimate international organization that, frankly, illegitimate. They make themselves illegitimate because they claim that even if you're not a member of that court, they can come after you. And what that literally means in the future is that American servicemen, political leaders, and others could find themselves under indictment by this International Criminal Court.
So this International Criminal Court, Johnny, is that who nabbed up the tapes?
Yeah, right. I think Interpol might be like their enforcement wing, or at least they employ Interpol to go get wanted criminals from across country. From across borders of different countries. Okay, like they can reach out to South America if they want to,
Right.
not just Europe. I really don't know if that was the agency that apprehended the tapes, but the ICC, I believe, employs them to as well. Basically attack dogs, come by and get people that are wanted and find them.
If you want to know a little bit about it, Jack Smith used to work there. These are the people that think they can go out and basically indict any world leader and haul them into The Hague. So we tried to get them to reform and listen to us. They wouldn't do it. They're very arrogant. We've now begun an effort to really try to.
And I also stopped right here.
There's no.
Another thing that could happen is, like, say, UK censorship laws. All right.
Yeah.
You could get in trouble for posting things online as a UK citizen in the UK, like criticizing some sort of policy or some sort of happening going on in the United Kingdom. And then they would send, local municipal policemen to your home to, take you away, get you investigated, definitely take away all your electronics and analyze them. What the ICC wants to do is erode that gap of safety we have by allowing, say, a UK municipality to come and fetch an American, arrest an American all the way in Wyoming, who's like, up like the King of England's a fucking faggot. And then, like,
Or their country is a fucking prison country.
Right. If you say anything like that, right, they're like, oh, golly gee, pip, pip, cheerio, we're going to go ahead and use the ICC to send agents to arrest that guy in Wyoming who dared, to criticize anything in his own special way and hurt a bunch of fifis over here. No. Can't do that right now.
Yeah. That's insane.
Oh, yeah.
Information that they're after me. It could happen. Just
yeah, they'd probably go after
That means that maybe he's not trying to defend me. He is trying to defend Bibi and various other people. But there are many people that shouldn't be looked at that way. But there is no indication that I'm one of them at this moment.
That's right. Well, and I actually think the people who are in biggest danger in our system are servicemen, people in uniform. That they'll try to go out for the rest of their lives, will not be able to travel anywhere in the world with their families because they could be arrested on one of these. Imagine you're a soldier, you fought in a war, and 20 years later they try to come grab you. So this is a big problem. So we've had dozens of countries already join us in efforts. Since we started 2 weeks ago, 5 countries have already quit the ICC and notified them that they're leaving. And we think there'll be more. The second thing is we had an unprecedented ministerial. 60 countries came to Washington, and we're a part of an effort where we were shedding light on far and left terrorism. You know, the bomb goes off somewhere and it's tied to some right-wing group or what I don't consider neo-Nazis right-wing, I consider them Nazis, right? But you're going to get a lot of attention on that. But if it's a leftist group, an Antifa group, they get no coverage, or they ignore the ideological spin and the ideological reason behind it. So we got 60 countries came up here and hopefully creating a strong coalition to go after far left violent terrorism. And go after it and call it by name. And I think we're building a very strong coalition there. We've had some successes in the Middle East, Mr. President, as you know, in the diplomatic front.
Okay, that bit of news. Going after far left domestic terrorists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what? I got a great website, great YouTube channel that you might want to actually post in the chat. And I'm going to go ahead and send it to you in the green room, called The Wire. Hang on, let me pull it up. Whoop. I got to get YouTube open. It talks about all these things going on, not just overseas, but any kind of incidents that need to be addressed or analyzed right here on the home front. And it's all part of every episode. Let me go ahead and find it. And then put it out in the chat for people to subscribe to so they can kind of get informed. You're not going to find this kind of stuff on the local news. You're just not going to find it. Here we go. S2 Underground.
By the way, hello Vegas Valley. How are you? Are those eyeballs? Those are eyeballs.
Post. Okay, there it is. If you want to, go on ahead and copy that and put it in the chat here publicly. So now people can take a look at it or whatever and see what they want to do.
Perfect. All right, I gotta.
And yeah, they will talk about any kind of Antifa uprisings. Or one thing that you probably didn't hear about in the news, did you know that the water supply of Minnesota was hacked and shut down? Just like last Sunday.
Well, because they mentioned the one in Minnesota on this, and he was like, they were trying to blame it on Iran, but Iran has bigger problems than Minnesota. They think it's just due to their incompetent government.
It could be. It could be.
Yeah.
We don't really know who the perpetrator of it is, but that's how I found out about it. And it's right up the river from me.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I share a border with Minnesota, unfortunately. And I mean, it was far above the headwaters of the Mississippi in a little city called Winona. So it didn't affect us. But it could have if they had targeted the water treatment facilities in Winona. And that's a huge water town. It is where the Mississippi River begins.
Okay.
And it's like a little creek up there, but it eventually gets huge. And the thing is that we rely on that in order to capture raw water and then for our treatment facilities so that we can use potable water here in Wisconsin. Okay. And all the other states that are hugging it, including parts of Texas.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, if what happened there, I mean, it would really be disruptive, potentially.
Yeah. Oh, he's talking about the stuff going on in Iran.
Let's go back from where we stopped.
Okay.
If you can remember as best you can.
Well, it was Rubio speaking.
Okay.
But not least, and I have to thank a number of agencies here, particularly the Department of War, after that terrible earthquake in Venezuela. Within 36 hours, the full force of the American government was on the ground providing humanitarian assistance. It was a sight to behold. The USS Ford, I think, was in the port. Our Marines and armed service personnel were helping run their airport and their tower. It is one of the fastest, most dramatic, and most effective humanitarian responses, certainly in recent history, if not ever. And they came at the direction of the president. In fact, within an hour of that earthquake hitting, I remember because I was overseas, the president called and said, make sure we go in there and help these people recover from this. And we did. And thanks to your leadership, Mr. President. It's a great story. Enough needs to be told about it because the credit goes to so many agencies represented here today, but really the Department of War's effort was phenomenal. So thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mark. And just before we continue, I want to just congratulate Jay Clayton. He's with us today, as you know. He's had a big victory. He's going to do a fantastic job. He's only done his whole life has been about doing a fantastic job. So congratulations.
Yeah, I don't see a single.
I was just noticing it. There isn't a single woman at that round table. Oh, there's one. There's
a woman?
one. Yeah, the one in like the. Yeah, there might be one with the frosted hair.
Oh, with the frosted hair.
Yeah, she's on the right side.
Oh, right
There you
there.
go. You found her. You found
She
Waldo.
didn't say anything, so that's all that matters.
Okay.
She can sit there.
Well, thank you, Mr. President, for the invitation, the opportunity to be here. It's an honor for the War Department to help run this facility. Also, from the food to the fence line, it's an honor to have you. And it's great Americans here and all around the country and all around the world who are the core of what keep us safe. But in order to do that, you have to have a leader that's willing to put them in a position to do it. And that's my takeaway, Mr. President, is sort of 3 points. One, it takes courage. 2, it takes restoring a spirit, which you have done. And 3rd, it takes investment, and not just an investment, but a generational investment. And I think people miss that. The courage it takes to seal the border, to say we're going to do it, and we're going to do it every single day, and we're going to do it on behalf of the American people. The courage to bomb the Houthis and say we will maintain freedom of navigation. I wonder why they're not involved in this conflict, the Houthis, even though they're a proxy of Iran, because they felt the weight of American power for 45 days, and you had the courage to do that. The courage to do Midnight Hammer and conclude the 12-day war by obliterating their nuclear sites, something other presidents had the option on their table to do, but they never pulled the trigger because of the complications, because of the challenges, because of the risk. Courage. The courage to take on the cartels and drug boats, now forming the ACCC, the America's Counter Cartel Coalition, with all those friendly governments that Marco talked about who want to be shoulder to shoulder, not just with America, but with a bold, strong America with clear leadership. The courage to go get Maduro in the most dangerous, most heavily guarded house, inside the most heavily guarded fort, inside the most heavily guarded town in their capital city in the middle of the night, and change the entire dynamic of that country and that region. And the world saw what the American military was capable to do, that doesn't happen unless the commander-in-chief says you're authorized to do it, and will take the handcuffs off when you do it to ensure that Americans come home. Courage to take epic fury and this Iranian regime and ensure they never have a nuclear weapon, which remains your commitment. And frankly, the courage to negotiate. Have shown no willingness to do so honestly, with incredible negotiators who are the best in the world, and give them every opportunity to do it, give those things up peacefully. All of that takes guts. But that comes on the backs of the change in the spirit of our department. You talk about spirit all the time, and you're right to do so. When you rip out DEI, when you rip out social engineering and social justice, and you put in merit, and then you untie the hands of commanders to be commander, to enforce discipline and accountability, to get back to basics, then you get historic reenlistment inside our ranks. Our best people, Mr. President, are staying because they want to be in that kind of department. And then historic recruitment record amongst young Americans. Every month, our department breaks records. And when did that trend line start? On Election Day, 2024, when the American people said, I want to serve under this president. And that new name, the Department of War, has become the ethos, the warrior ethos of our department. Again, spirit. And I will note, The flyovers will indeed continue until morale improves. But that's also spirit. Parades, 250, flyovers, the American people seeing and feeling their military in ways they have not in the past. That's spirit.
Oh yeah, I'm going
And
to
then
stop.
finally, Mr.
I'm going
President.
to stop you there. I think Hegseth is referring to when the Blue Angels did a flyover,
Oh
and
yeah.
a bunch of
Crazy
these old
bitches were
boomer
freaking
feminists
out.
were protesting it and pretending they were fucking native tribes when they totally weren't, going hi yeah 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 why not hey yeah,
Right.
all that shit.
Yeah.
Being Elizabeth Warren's. These are the
Yeah.
people that vote the crap in
Yes,
and
that are
further
allowed
shitify
to, that are
our
given
system.
privileges they're not earning.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm going to take it back because that little bit,
Yeah.
when you rip out, right?
Time, and you're right to do so. When you rip out DEI, when you rip out social engineering and social justice, and you put in merit, and then you untie the hands of commanders to be commanders, to enforce discipline and accountability, to get back to basics, then you get historic reenlistment inside our ranks.
So,
Yeah. Back to basics.
empowering the commanders.
Yeah.
See, that's what I noticed that DEI and political correctness has done in every environment I've ever been in. That's like corporate or at the university level, or it's
Hmm.
like political correctness. They can't even allow their supervisors to hold people accountable. Like what he said, like take off the handcuffs, let them do it.
Let the boss be the boss.
Yes, let the boss be the boss. Yeah. Now this
I want.
this was my favorite part right here.
Okay.
Do you want to watch more of this?
Yes. Yes, please.
Our best people, Mr. President, are staying because they want to be in that kind of department. And then historic recruitment record amongst young Americans. Every month, our department breaks records. And when did that trend line start? On Election Day, 2024, when the American people said, I want to serve under this president. And that new name, the Department of War, has become the ethos, the warrior ethos of our department. Again, spirit. And I will note, the flyovers will indeed continue until morale improves. But that's also spirit. Parades, 250, flyovers, the American people seeing and feeling their military in ways they have not in the past. That's spirit. And then finally, Mr. President, a generational investment. You rebuilt the military in your first term, and you've spent in your first year $1 trillion, and now we are committed in working with Congress to get $1.5 trillion. But this is not the same way we funded our department in the past. This is a businessman in charge. This is the deputy secretary of our department who's a turnaround guy, just like the president is, saying we will not fund money, we will not fund the department the way we have in the past. In fact, so far, $75 billion in private investment from defense companies who are now investing in new plants, new equipment, new assembly lines to build the munitions of the future faster than ever possible. That's saving taxpayer dollars. Because the companies themselves are investing. That would never, the arsenal of freedom would never happen without you. So just like we use a lot of the things Ronald Reagan's buildup was a part of, in this administration and in future administrations, they will look back at Donald Trump and the buildup that he has done, and that will be, the deterrence of the future will be established because of your investment. So thank you, Mr. President, for your leadership.
Okay, I got to stop you right there. The thing is that like we are talking about like building up the war economy, and that is of course going to build more jobs. But to really destroy DEI at its core, we have to get rid of the investment capital banks, or at least not allow BlackRock and State Street and Vanguard to take and foreign NGO money to promote DEI. I don't know why they're doing it. Okay. But these are mostly European NGOs that are getting together and pooling investment capital dollars over into these investment capital banks, which are right here in America, and then using that as an exploit, as a front door, not a back door, but a front door to get the corporations paid off to employ nothing but DEI hires, or the majority of them, and to promote them too from within.
Yeah.
So you might have somebody who has got great freaking numbers, okay, in the XYZ corporation, but he is a white man and he cannot get promoted because he lowers the ESG score according to the DEI initiative. Okay, environmental, what is it? Safety and governance.
Wonder. ESG score.
Right. And this also goes not just to corporations, but to governmental institutions as well. They, they have to get rid of that scheme. It's been in effect since 2006. And, it's been ramping up more and more companies are tempted to adopt it with all that investment capital.
Yeah.
From these banks like State Street, Vanguard, and BlackRock.
Hmm.
For instance, the NGO that that pays my company is out of Switzerland, and I
Okay.
think you were at one that was out of Finland when you were at Lowe's, I believe it was.
Yes, that that
Yeah. These fucking yodeling motherfuckers are deciding who gets promoted, not your local boss.
I don't see that where I'm currently at, but I looked up where I'm currently at if they have one, and it says yeah. The internet says yes.
That they do have an ESG.
Social benchmark 4.6 out of 100. Gender assessments 13.9 out of. What does that even mean?
Yeah, I really don't know how to read that.
Yeah,
Like their metrics. I should actually take a look at that. For a later stream. Figure out.
yeah. We'll look at it backstage for later. But no, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got some news from my local university, which is Texas A&M. Everybody knows.
Okay.
Somebody that works there says that their department. So when they get money, they have to
Hmm.
go through like an accredit. Like this third party company determines who they can give degrees to, and they have to like. Anyway, I guess it might be crumbling. He seems to think it's crumbling because he's had to like type up all kinds of shit to turn in
Hmm.
to make sure it has all the proper stuff in it. Like,
Okay.
why would a third party company have control over who the professors can give degrees to?
Exactly. It makes no sense. Why are the arbiter? Why is the third party company the arbiter of who gets to graduate
And who gets
or
grant?
or, or who gets in the first place?
Yeah, well, no, that was A&M. Like, cause I
Okay.
I have a client in admissions, and she told me exactly when they dropped the GRE because they didn't have enough black people.
Oh
That
God.
was
They
A&M
dropped the GRE.
dropped the GRE. Yeah.
Oh God. I didn't actually have to take a GRE because my grad school was portfolio based.
Yeah.
So they were like, as long as you're a good artist, we don't care if you're a moron.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was still merit. It was still merit based.
Yeah. They were trying to get an outcome of students to match
Hmm.
something. Parody the community, which I always thought that was
Ridiculous.
weird because that's all I've ever heard when I was at
Yeah.
Lowe's and I talked to that crazy bitch district HR lady, and she was explaining how important representation was and how you know, wouldn't you feel like if you were a black person, you would like to see a black person here? And then I brought that to where I'm currently at, and I was like, this definitely doesn't parody my community. It's flipped.
Right.
So
Right.
well,
Exactly.
maybe I should push that. Push for that.
I think you should.
Push for
Yeah.
the
Like.
parenting the
Yeah.
community. Yeah, reduce
Exactly.
the numbers to 10%.
I mean, don't you want to have a transsexual wearing a bowl of fruit on their head, representing you and serving you
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
your local hardware store.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Twinkle Toes Labriola. What the fuck?
Yeah, that conversation was interesting.
I'm trying to build a GIMP cage. Can you help me? God damn. All right, somebody's got to do it, right? Huh.
Somebody's got to do it. Well, Johnny, the theme for this is courage, discipline, and accountability, and going back
Okay.
to the basics, like Hexa said.
All right. So let's focus on that now.
Okay.
I mean, okay, you're talking about a company or a government institution you work at, right?
No, I'm
Uh,
talking about psychology field, the psychology
okay,
realm. I think
okay.
they should go back to the basics. I think
And
they should,
in what way are we talking about basics in psychology here?
like, going back to maybe the DSM 1 and 2, revisiting that. I wonder how
Okay,
much
you
have.
actually are holding the DSM-1 right now, right?
I think so. See how little it is?
Yeah, that's number one. A very coveted book. I can't believe you got a hold of it.
Dude, a red
Um,
pillar that I work with gifted it to me.
right.
Yeah.
And that was written, well, it was published in 1952.
Okay, 1952, American Psychiatric Association. Yeah.
And Dog My Cats, you sent me a PDF of it, the whole thing.
Did.
Wow, isn't that
I'm
awesome?
handy with my spam scanner.
Yeah, yeah, it looks really good, by the way. And I noticed, like, doing a pretty good perusal of it, that in 1952 they had different standards and um, different terms of judging personality and neurological disorders,
See?
and ways of grading them.
Right.
A lot of the personality disorders that I see in the DSM-1 from 1952, I did not go over the DSM-2 that you sent me, which was published in '68. So I don't know like about that yet, but they were talking about personality disorders, and were actually documenting sociopathy
Yes.
as you know a diagnostic,
Yeah.
and we got rid of that, I think, in the DSM-2 or 3,
Why
and
though?
yeah, the three
You
came
sent,
out in 1980.
when you sent me the breakdown of the actual word and what it meant, I was like, that describes all these group identitarians.
Okay, and do you have the oh yeah, the Greek breakdown of what sociopathy means,
Yeah.
right? It roughly translates from Old Greek to disease of the tribe,
Yeah. Tribal disease.
socio the tribe, and pathos, disease or disorder,
Yeah.
meaning that these people are either unable to or trying not to cognizantly to think like people of their tribe. You're not getting with the program. I'm not talking about being a sheep or being blue pill or anything like that, but I'm talking about they're willingly going exactly against the grain of what makes a tribe an institution, what makes it functional. Okay,
So that's
why
like,
we became a tribe in the first place.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So they're explaining sociopathy as going against the tribe.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
you are your tribal core, that component of your mind and your consciousness
Yeah.
that makes you a human being, a person who wants to be a social animal.
Mhm.
Even the most introverted person that is on in the chat right now is still a social animal. They
Yeah.
still have that core aspect within their personality,
Yeah.
within their consciousness, within their mind. All
Yeah.
right. And we talked about that with the Ogdoad, the Gnostic Ogdoad, the core principles or aspects that constitute a human being's mind. All right. Now, we're all predetermined, well, not predetermined, but predisposed to become a tribal animal. All right.
Right. It's a
Uh, a
biological imperative, last I
Right,
checked.
right, but it's also a conscious imperative as well. So deep inside our consciousness, we want to do that because that's what is part of the makeup that makes us human of all these aspects and elements.
Yeah.
Now the thing is that a tribe is not an army of one. We're going to have to be able to communicate and work with other people in order to build a tribe. And when they get together and form a common consensus of what actually works, you have built the basics of that tribe, the groundwork and the foundation of what keeps a tribe going. All right. Now, if one of them is diseased
Mm-hmm.
and wants to do something that is just way out of fucking order,
Yeah.
then that's where the cohesion of that tribe is under threat.
What if the tribe is diseased?
Like the entirety of the tribe,
Yeah.
well, then the tribe ceases to become a functioning unit.
Well, the tribe does because it's still a functioning union because they still get a paycheck whether they do a good
Well,
job.
for now,
Yeah.
I mean that's the thing though. It is like platform decay, going to
Yeah.
shitify to such a degree that it's not going to be sustainable or useful anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess a company like BlackRock or Vanguard can keep pumping money into it to keep the
Mm-hmm.
doors open and the lights on,
Yeah.
but it's totally useless. And what's going to happen, especially in the capitalist society, there will be other companies to pick up the slack that your company can't do.
Unless it's government, and it always has that big sugar daddy government.
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Despite the sugar daddy government, there's nothing to stop us from saying, I'm going to make my own company to counteract that. If the
Yeah.
military sucks, I'm going to start my own paramilitary group that'll be better than those. Shoot straight,
Yeah.
motherfucker. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, that and that's exactly what makes the United States of America work so well. Um, when people, for instance, at the beginning of the 20th century, they were in meatpacking companies, they didn't have any checks and balances for safety measures. So you had people falling into like the fucking bologna mix. And the manager or the foreman was like, keep it going. And people were eating like fucking Jose. Okay. Why is this bologna so spicy? I don't know.
Yeah.
But what happened was there was a huge surge of vegetarianism when Upton Sinclair exposed it with his novel The Jungle. All right, something you do need to read. So nobody was buying meat anymore, and meat packing industry suffered. Then what happened was, I think it was in Kansas City, a couple of people got together and started a business called White Castle. Yeah, White Castle hamburgers. What they did was they said, we're going to prepare these hamburgers right in front of you with this window where you can take a look and make sure that nobody's falling into the burger mix, that
Yeah.
everything's clean, that nobody's picking their butt and then making your White Castle hamburger without washing their hands.
Oh, like transparency equals accountability.
Yeah, like literally transparent because there's a big fucking window with the
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
preparing and cooking the food right in front of you. And
Yeah.
it was our first fast food chain in the United States of America. Thanks to that, became an empire. I mean, the burgers might kind of suck, except when you like really need them. But who cares? It made a mint in 1921, and it reversed the big vegetarian craze of the 1910s because they decided, hey, we're going to offer you something that's missing. That's
Yeah.
quality meat production.
Yeah.
And people went to it. People weren't being vegetarian out of some political, socio, woo-woo reason, right? Oh, there's spirits in the deer. Who gives a
Right.
fuck?
It
They're
was
doing they
the
were doing it
jelly
out of fear.
cannibal.
Yeah, they were safe out of safety measures. They were
Yeah,
doing that.
and probably
And
religious too.
well, yeah, but I mean, I don't think there's any like main religion that promotes cannibalism. Well,
No, they
except
highly
Catholicism.
discourage it, right? Don't they discourage cannibalism?
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, like, the only flesh the human flesh you can eat is that of Jesus Christ. But
Right, and it's
no,
bread. Yeah,
and it's bread.
and
Not
it's
to me, it isn't. But yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah.
But the thing is that that kind of competition can come about, and um, even if your company decides to keep acting the way it does, or your governmental department,
Mm.
there will be a competitor that rises up and says, "Hey, we've got what's missing."
I
Maybe
don't know
not
if
now,
that
but eventually we can. That
is
can happen.
feasible. I think somebody needs to buy it. I think Elon should buy it.
Yeah, Elon could buy it.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if he bought your governmental department, that'd be funnier than fuck. That really would be. A South African owns an American an
Yeah,
American
yeah,
institution.
yeah.
That's part of our Constitution, right? But the thing is that um, another thing that where this sociopathology is happening
Hmm.
is we're offshoring our companies to other countries that are not socially compatible with us, and then we're also bringing in foreigners from other countries that are not socially compatible with us.
Mm.
So to their tribe, you know, rolling around in poo once a year might be, hey, that's what you do.
Yeah,
But to us, we're like, dude, you're rolling around in fucking shit. That's not
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Or maybe they come from a culture where lying or scamming or getting around the system is a
Yeah.
virtue. But
Hmm.
here in America, as a Christian,
Generational. It's
it's a mortal.
generational.
But here in America, lying and scamming is a mortal sin. That's incompatible with the way we work. All
Yeah.
right. I don't care if you're a Christian or not. We're still a Christian based country with Christian values that
Yeah.
you may or may not bend the knee to, but you still live within inside that tribal rubric. All
Mhm.
right.
Mhm.
But somebody from another country who adheres to a cultural or tribal um, uh, virtue of what we consider a sin is going to be incompatible, and they're not going to be able to work with us.
Yeah.
So that's where you get the enshittification. Maybe somebody from another culture thinks that getting rid of the delete button or getting rid of the back button on the browser is a good thing. Like, who cares? We don't need to. But like to an American, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? That was like a staple feature to this platform. Why
Yeah.
did you get rid of it?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
can't use it anymore. I'll go elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I was sad to see on YouTube during the Biden administration after they stole the fucking election
Uh huh.
report the how many thumbs down the
Yeah.
public could view on a video.
Right, right. You have to get
Like,
like a special you have to get a special extension to see it, and who knows if it really works.
yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you can still the individual channel can still say it backstage, but the
Oh,
public
really?
cannot see how many people liked or disliked that video,
Yeah,
whatever it
weird.
is.
I didn't know that. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Because I don't run a channel. I'm not a content creator. I'm not on YouTube,
yeah,
so it's like I don't really know what kind of tools and dashboard you guys have, but I didn't know that. Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
But
You can
anyway, back to the DSM though. I
back
mean,
to the DSM one.
yeah, that term sociopath
Yeah,
is, the way that the scientific community or the psychological community and the APA back then decided to say, we're going to call that, a disease of the tribe or a tribal disease.
Hmm.
Um,
See, so then I can, in my environment, be a sociopathic
right.
compared.
Compared to that particular
Because the
environment,
tribe's diseased. No, it's a
no,
tribe of sociopaths. That's what I'm saying. Like it, it, like all these group identitarians behave very similar in that way.
but that is a new turn of events, though,
Yeah,
GM.
yeah,
It's not supposed to be that way. It's not even written in the bylaws. It's just that nobody listens to them. That's part of the disease. You're not the disease. You're the ones that want to go by the book, by those bylaws,
yeah.
and adhere to those rules so it is
Mhm,
efficient
mhm.
and works on your merit. So if you do really well, you're going to be treated as such. However, the idiots that are working and running the place only care about group identity. Okay.
Yes. And how
You
they
look like me, so you can do whatever the fuck you want.
yeah.
I got to poo poo in the truck because I look like you. And that, right? And that is allowed
Uh,
when it ought not be.
bottles of piss in the vehicles as a
Yeah,
running
yeah.
theme. Heard about another one this
High
week.
fidelity piss jugs. What the fuck? What the
Well, it just
fuck?
reminds me of South Africa and what Emmanuel was saying, like
Right.
what it's turned into
Hmm.
since they ended apartheid and, like since the white people stopped innovating over there.
Okay.
And the
Right.
people that took it over didn't give a shit and trashed everything and made everything a dumpster and
Hmm.
left mess and just disrespected their environment. And I think
Okay.
it's the same with DEI hires, like people that aren't in an ecosystem because of merit, because they
Hmm.
do a good job, don't take pride in their environment.
Okay. No, they don't. They don't. Um, to them, it's just a place where they draw a paycheck. They don't earn it. They don't
Yeah,
go by any of the metrics that demand they do perform these duties to earn the paycheck.
yeah,
They just wake up a certain identity, show up, and get paid.
pretty much. Talk on their phone, fucking
Hmm.
eat, throw their garbage all over the place. They're
Right.
always
Right.
eating.
Uh,
I noticed that. I was wondering what some of I'm gonna call them, what should I call them? They're not, what, on a ship. Because on this specific ship, you have your captain, and you have,
yeah.
what's the hierarchy?
I like there's captain, there's bosun, which is a boatswain, and they're kind of the people that are sort of the supervisors. They're the heavy. They're like, "Arg, you're getting thrown off the ship for not cleaning, swabbing the deck."
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
boat. That's the bosun, and then you have like, yeah, I don't know what else. Like, I
Hmm.
don't know. I'm not on a fucking boat.
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah,
but
yeah. Just the supervisors.
yeah, the bosun would be your direct supervisor, the person that metes out the punishment,
Okay.
and they usually can do it without independent of the captain.
Mm.
From what I know, they just kind of have to make sure that everybody's adhering by the ship's rules. But yeah, one thing that I thought that was very interesting in the DSM-1
Mhm.
under personality disorders, there are not a whole lot of them, okay,
Right.
but there there is one that we don't have anymore called inadequate personality disorder. If
Yeah.
you if you turn to page
I'm on it. 35.
35,
Yeah.
yeah. Listen to this. Such individuals with inadequate personality disorder are characterized by inadequate response to intellectual, emotional, social, and physical demands, like a job would have, right?
Yeah.
They are neither physically nor mentally grossly deficient on examination, meaning they look able at first glance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they do show inadaptability, ineptness, poor judgment, lack of physical and emotional stamina, and social incompatibility.
Yeah.
Kind of what they would call Arbeitsschlau or Arbeitsschlu in National Socialist Germany, or work shy. These are the type of people that either won't work and get with the program, or if they do go into it and they are actually put on under the scrutiny of their metrics, they
Mm-hmm.
just don't they will not meet them due to like perceived laziness. um and it says that they are in inadaptable,
Yeah. And
meaning I don't think you can
train
redirect them.
them.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't discipline them. They're not going to take um they're not going to take any kind of criticism. They're not going to take any kind of redirection. Nothing that you give them that is part of your tribe, right, is going to stick with them.
Yeah.
Because, like, the DSM does not have the cluster system in the
Right.
DSM 1 like it does now,
Yeah.
but that is a type of sociopathic personality disturbance.
But listen
Other,
to this,
uh huh,
John. Right under personality disorders, it
yeah,
says these disorders are characterized by developmental defects
right.
or pathological trends in the personality structure with minimal subjective anxiety and little to no sense of distress. But
Meaning
development,
it's not neurological.
right?
There's not like a biological element to it, so it had to have been developed in their environment.
Yes. Yeah. By the way, hello, Rexus. Good to see you,
Hey,
Mikhail.
Rexus,
Hi, CJ. Hello, Adrian. Good to see you guys. What is this, Rexus?
watching this over the Carl Sama stream. No bronies here. Carl Sama is another. He's kind of like a chud commentator, but
Yeah.
obviously there's like an infection of bronies over there,
What's a
and
brony?
Rexus is. They're people. They're got adults who worship their life and revolve their lives around My Little Pony.
What?
I know, I know.
The
I don't
cart.
get it either. The
Like
cartoon, yeah,
the
yeah,
Patron.
yeah. Like, oh gee, I just want to marry Pinkie Pie.
They want bestiality.
Yeah, I guess furryality, something. I don't know, like cartoon bestiality, maybe. I really
That
don't understand it. It's not the DSM 6, but it should be. Bronyism. It's a personality disorder.
I'm pretty sure bestiality is covered under the law. Isn't
It
that illegal?
If it's a cartoon, man, it's totally cool. I don't fucking know. But the thing is that it would be considered a paraphilia,
Mm,
meaning it is outside of the sexual norm.
yeah.
Okay. So, like, nobody can actually fuck a cartoon. They could dress up like the cartoon, and that's really weird.
Oh, are they the ones that dress up and like go to these conventions as animals and like do all?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
weird.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
weird.
yeah. So that's what Rexus is trying to get away from, because there's a
Oh,
bunch of fucking bronies over on Carl's stream for some fucking reason. So, okay.
oh, he said a bit of a joke on Carl.
Yeah, I know.
Because
His
his audience.
audience is full of weirdos.
Okay, those are
Yeah, they
furries.
kind of are. They kind
Okay,
of are.
yeah, yeah.
So when I always like bug you about, is it nature or nurture, and you're
Mhm.
always like, it's environmental. The DSM is going with environmental with personality disorders. Were you
Yeah.
raised that way, or was something maladaptive in your formative years to make you act like a fucking idiot?
You know what? I think people in the psychology realm are
Yeah.
so hyper focused on childhood shit
Mm-hmm.
and just interpersonal. Like they always focus on childhood
I've
problems.
noticed this. Yes. Mm-hmm.
But if you take a child that grew up in an environment like that,
Uh-huh.
didn't let them choose another environment like that, they had
Right.
to go into a completely different environment. I feel like just the psychology field is not taking into consideration where most people spend most of their fucking day, which is at work.
Okay.
And a
Right.
lot of the narcissism that
Hmm.
happens with EI hires, it's because it's being reinforced at work.
Right. They take their home to work, their
Yeah,
home issues to their work,
yeah,
and then it's further reinforced by the management at their job.
yeah.
So the cycle of fuckery is self-sustaining.
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's good. That is definitely a good point there. And see, here's the thing: you have got to do something to actually break out of that cycle yourself. And it's something that I've noticed. If you don't mind me bringing it up, all right,
Mhm.
you're going to become consumed by it, and you're going to become that job.
Mm.
All right. I know that it's important to you. Of course it is. It's how you
Yeah,
make, the bulwark of your money,
yeah.
or at least half of it. But 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 dude, you're dreaming about that shit. You showed me your alpha scan.
I know, I
And
know.
every time it spikes red, you're at that sleep. You gotta learn how to like dream about something else at least.
I dream about learning stuff though, because I'm learning so much.
I get it, but like you can find knowledge and do dream work through that. I'm not trying to get all woo woo, but
Yeah.
it is actually seeping over into the woo woo territory.
Well, I think because I keep my mouth shut most of the day and I just
Okay.
observe and I take everything in,
Hmm. Hmm.
like my brain
Yeah,
while
but you also say base stuff to people when they fucking need it.
I do, but
What do you
I
think of this new feminist we have? Like, oh, I think she's a fucking dyke. I mean, you like tell them that right to their face.
there's no proof of that anywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I think hmm.
I don't know. It's something for you to think about and try to
Yeah, yeah.
find
No,
alternate
I'm
ways so you
obsessed.
don't wind up becoming a stressful wreck at the end. Because right now you're okay, but you could get to a point where it becomes so consumptive
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah,
consuming
yeah.
that you wind up becoming part of that place and you're no longer
Right. And
GM.
I don't think I don't think I'm at risk for that because I have a lot of like backup stuff. Like
Hmm. Okay, because from what I'm seeing
I have ways
is
to purge.
okay,
I
okay,
smudge every day to get away
okay.
the evil spirits.
Yeah, yeah, you're gonna need to do that. I
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just I just want you to be able to find maybe something, an intellectual endeavor outside of that place.
But what I'm
That's
doing inside the pit of hell is the
yeah.
most intellectual endeavor that's offered there, and it's kind of a big deal.
No, I know, I get
Yeah,
it, and you got to
yeah,
take it home with you. It
yeah.
actually has homework, and that kind of sucks. But
Well, it's not supposed to. I just want to learn more and
okay, okay,
better,
all
faster.
right. Then in that case, here's what I'm gonna say. Okay, while you're learning about that, just be careful to make sure that it doesn't consume you.
Yes. No, I will.
That you don't become a cog in that
No, and I've
machine.
been told as long as I don't become like them.
Right. Yeah, because eventually you could become like them.
Right, and that's why I check for infection
Okay, good.
often.
Yeah.
I do reality testing often.
Yeah, all the time you're gonna have to with those idiots.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. Every week I'm amazed because I had so little respect for so many people, and week by
Mhm.
week it goes in the negative even more. I'm like, how can I respect this person less? And then
Oh,
next
believe
thing
me.
I'm like, and then it just amazes me that these people have jobs. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And we are talking about people with the old school inadequate personality disorder.
yes,
They don't
inadequate.
feel inadequate. Actually, their behavior is inadequate.
Well, see, because I was looking in here, did you see anything for like toxic feminine behavior?
We haven't found anything addressing the sexes yet.
Right, right.
Nothing seemed to be. They're just looking at the human holistically.
Mm-hmm.
They don't seem to be treating or differentiating man from woman in any of these that I've found so far. Okay,
Yeah.
they do like cut. They do break down things like schizophrenia.
Mm-hmm.
They break down things like different types of anxiety. Uh, they do break down quite a bit. So they're taking one holistic disorder and then giving it different subcategories. I mean, I guess they've been doing that again in the DSM-5. Um, but either way, like I'm going through it, I'm not finding anything about um, any kind of separation of sex in any of these. No, like women
Yes.
are more prone to this and men are more prone to that. No, I'm not getting any of that.
Right. Which, you know what? I don't
Maybe
know.
if I read the two, when I read the two, they
Yeah.
might get more into that
Mm.
because they do categorize homosexuality and transsexuality
As a mental illness.
as mental illnesses. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, they are. They're mental,
they
spiritual.
are. Yeah,
Yeah, the sociopathic personality disturbance.
right. That is on page
38.
38.
Individuals to be placed in this category are ill primarily in terms of society and of conformity with the prevailing cultural milieu.
And not only in terms of personal discomfort in relations with other individuals, your tribe. However, sociopathic reactions are often very symptomatic of severe underlying personality disorder, a neurosis, and they're even saying psychosis,
Yeah.
or occur as a result of organic brain injury or disease. So they're saying sociopathy can be
Uh-huh.
um, triggered neurologically, a mental disorder, not just personality. Um, and they actually put addiction and alcoholism under this.
Hmm. So, before a definitive diagnosis in this group is employed, strict attention must be paid to the possibility of the presence of more primary personality disturbance. Such underlying disturbances will be diagnosed when recognized. Reactions will be differentiated as defined below. So it's already putting up there that yeah, it's probably going to be a comorbid thing.
Right,
Right.
right, exactly. And they do address sexual deviation. This diagnosis is reserved for deviant sexuality, which is not symptomatic of more extensive syndromes, such as schizophrenia or obsessional reactions. The term includes most of the cases formerly classed as psychopathic personality with pathological sexuality. The diagnosis will specify the type of the pathologic behavior, such as homosexuality, transvestitism, pedophilia, fetishism, and sexual sadism, including rape, sexual assault, and mutilation.
Yeah. How did the homos and the trannies get out of that?
Well, they sometime in the early 70s, obviously, because they scrubbed it from the DSM-2 revision of 1974. They
Right.
somehow marched on Washington, and voila, it's gone now.
Hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it happened, and here we are today.
Yeah. Huh.
Whoop-de-doo. Mm.
Gross stress reaction. Under conditions of great and unusual stress, a normal personality may utilize established patterns of reaction to deal with overwhelming fear. The pattern of such reactions differ from those of neurosis or psychosis, chiefly with respect to clinical history, reversibility of reaction, and its transient character. When promptly and adequately treated, the condition may clear rapidly. It is also possible that the condition may progress to one of the neurotic reactions. If the reaction persists, this term is to be regarded as temporary diagnosis and to be only used only until a more definitive diagnosis is established.
And you notice something though about definitive diagnoses in this. This DSM one
Hmm.
is very bare bones, very
Yeah.
stripped down. It doesn't seem to um, create all these subgenres. It just is. Here are the ruling factors,
Yeah.
and then you go from there as
Yeah.
a in terms of building a treatment plan.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if this gross stress reaction is what they call PTSD currently.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
Oh, the
Not limited to just military. Yeah,
yeah,
because we're
the
talking about as in
physical,
combat or civilian.
yeah,
Civilian.
catastrophe. Gross stress reaction. Adult situational
Yeah, like
reaction.
somebody who might have, almost drowned or something in a pool or a lake or whatever, might have aquaphobia all of a sudden. They're afraid of water, or being in the water.
Mm-hmm. I heard a chat with that Dr. Cocchiola and Richard recently, and she mentioned that she used the car accident, like, and how different people might respond differently to trauma, and how one
Hmm.
person that gets in a car accident will just hop in a car the next day and drive, and it will completely make the other one not ever again.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know. I don't know why that is. It doesn't happen all across the board, across populations.
Right.
Some people don't give a shit, and other people will be very hesitant to get into an automobile anymore. It's kind of weird how that happens. Sort of like with self deletion, you know, some people can go through the most horrible lives, right? And they still keep soldiering on. They still keep going on, and
Yeah.
then another person might have everything that they ever wanted, really successful, right? But then, like, their favorite TV show gets canceled and they do the damn thing.
Yeah.
That again, I that has to be neurological, in my opinion. Um,
Hmm.
you either have it in your mind to do that or you don't. Well, in your brain, not necessarily your mind, but in your brain to do that.
Or your nature.
Um,
Or is
yeah,
it
your
just your
nature.
nature?
Yeah.
Is your nature in your brain or is it in your heart?
In this case, I think it's in your brain. I really think that there's something neurological saying like, oh, okay, yeah, you've got the stones to do this, whereas somebody else wouldn't.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, they have neurotic traits.
Hmm.
When the transient reaction manifests itself primarily as physical or emotional symptoms, it will be classified here. Care must be taken to differentiate the transitory situational response from the psychoneurotic reactions. Neurotic traits are closely related to habit disturbances, and distinction between the two is not always possible or desirable. Wait, wait. Neurotic traits are closely related to habit disturbances, and the distinction between the two is not always possible or desirable. What does that mean, desirable?
Well, it says habit disturbance is when the transient reaction manifests itself primarily as a so-called habit disturbance, such as repetitive, simple activities. It may be subclassified here. Indicates symptomatic um, manifestations under this diagnosis. For example, nail biting, thumb sucking, enuresis, which means piss in your bed, masturbation, and tantrums. Oh boy, you got a lot of tantrums at your fucking job.
Yeah, I see a lot of them.
Notice something that's missing. I mean, I haven't been able to find it.
What?
Narcissism. There's no
Oh,
narcissism in this.
no, people didn't use that word in the. People didn't use that word in 1952.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
it's
so funny
not
because
there.
I was watching that Sheridan, eight, was it 1883 or something? And one of the
Mhm.
characters, the old lady, called somebody narcissistic. I was like, ah, they wouldn't have used that word.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
on the farm,
Anachronism. Right.
yeah, it's a buzzword.
It is. It is a buzzword. Anybody, like to so many people in the narc sphere,
Mhm.
it's like any time somebody does something they don't like, they're automatically a narcissist.
Oh, I saw James Sexton clip, that divorce lawyer,
Okay.
and he was talking about what he's seen as far as clients, that the one that shows up and they're vocal and loud about their narcissistic ex, and they were abused and all this domestic violence. He's like, yeah, and come to find out that kind of stuff never happened. But the ones that show up and try to take accountability for what happened
Hmm.
are the actual abuse victims.
Right.
I was like, that so reminds me of the MPD fucking recovery community as a whole. I'm like, all these,
But notice something though. I mean, like if you went and stripped that down to the basics,
yeah,
find out the person who's taking accountability,
yeah,
and then realize, yeah, they're the person who's aggrieved.
right,
They're the victim. Just like find out who's taking accountability. You'll know who's telling the truth.
yeah. I was like, that is so true. I'm glad he said that publicly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, anyway, that's what I think that needs to be done. Is I do agree with you, like by going back to the basics.
yeah,
For the psychology field, if we went back to something in the DSM-6, which they're trying to write right now,
really.
yeah, it's about time actually for a new one.
Keep
Um,
getting bigger.
yeah, they keep the DSM-3 was huge. So
Really?
was the four. The four was even bigger. And then they had the 4TR, which I used at work.
Yeah.
And when I was at my job, our library only had everybody got the 4TR when they signed on and then or got hired on. But in the library, we had the three and the four. I mean, they're really fucking thick. They didn't have one and two. I mean, it just wastes shelf space. But
It's not my
if
shelf space.
not yours, yeah, I know, right?
I don't even know
The
if they're the real ones.
the thing is, if the six did, it won't do it. But if it did go back to the basics, like in the one, I think that would really help separate the wheat from the chaff in the psych industry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Johnny
So many
did.
people wouldn't be able to work that way.
They would not be able to follow basic instructions and rules
Right.
because there would be no wiggle room to be like, but I want to concoct this other thing. And
I
yeah.
want to do mindful dialectic therapy so I can be an advocate for my borderline bitch
Right.
client. Keep her
Right.
there for 5 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it keeps
and
sucking
that's
money off of
exactly what happens.
Johnny, did you see masochism on the list? I saw sadism. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
they talked about sexual sadism, but not masochism, where like
Right,
somebody enjoys being on the receiving end of it. No, I
right.
don't think it was taken into account. And the thing is like with that sexual pathology or
Hmm.
deviation, as they call it, they just they just grouped it under one lump. They're like, we don't need to like analyze whether or not it's like a transvestite, a troon, a homo, a two spirit, or whatever the fuck they
Pedophile.
are, a
No,
pedophile. Now they're all
they're all
fucking freaks.
deviants.
Yeah, you're all deviant.
Yeah.
There's something going on that makes you not behave um, sexually. What? Yeah,
Passive aggressive personality.
yeah. Do they have that anymore? I don't think so.
Stress. Non apparent predisposition. Mild. Sister hospital. Wait, what is this for? Mental disorders. Recording of psychiatric conditions. Mild. Sister hospitalized with schizophrenic reaction. Impairment. Mild. Return to work but shows increase in unauthorized absences. Is that a little case study?
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
passive aggressive personality. See, that's toxically feminine, in my opinion.
yeah, I would say, but I mean, like they go ahead and they break that one down too. Like, what
Oh,
were the
previously?
well, yeah, no, in the DSM-1 they break that down. Let me find what page it is. What page is that on?
The one I saw was on 51, but
51. Okay.
it's a recording of psychiatric condition.
No, no, yeah, they're doing examples of case studies, like you said. They did break it down though. Let me try to find it real quick. Because this is more like rules for treatment. Hang on here. Damn it. Oh, here we go. Yeah. They break it down into passive dependent, passive aggressive, and aggressive types.
Mm.
Passive dependent, this is on 36 and 37. Passive dependent, this reaction is characterized by helplessness, indecisiveness, and a tendency to cling to others as a dependent child to a supporting parent.
Yes.
Yeah, passive aggressive. The aggressiveness is expressed in these reactions by passive measures such as pouting, stubbornness, procrastination, inefficiency, and passive obstructionism.
Mm.
And then aggressive is a persistent reaction to frustration with irritability, temper tantrums, and destructive behavior as a dominant manifestation.
A specific variety of this reaction is a morbid or pathological resentment.
Right, that had to be been built. It had to have been attained. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not something that is neurological in nature. It was nurtured totally. Somebody got a resentment. Somebody got butthurt, and they're
Yeah.
taking the butthurt with them in their whole life. They're not
Yeah.
using any preparation H, so to speak.
You know, it's so funny. I've seen all three of those
Y-
tactics being used and deployed by one person.
Oh yeah, at
Yeah.
work.
Oh, just like I've seen those three specific ones many times in my lifetime.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Okay,
Just lots of people use all three.
yeah. Well, that's why they broke it down. I mean, maybe that type is the behavior at the moment,
Yeah, passive
and
dependent passive aggressive, and aggressive.
but it's still like under the rubric of one or the umbrella of one personality disorder called passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Because I mean, now we call it like a passive aggressive, quote unquote, communication style, not a disorder.
Right. Huh.
But if the person keeps communicating like that all the time, wouldn't they have a personality disorder now, right?
Right. Yeah. That's funny.
Well, anyway, that's what I think we should happen in summary. I agree with you. I think that the APA really needs to strip down the DSM-6, go back to basics, treat it like the DSM-1, and then maybe they could actually separate all the fucking idiots. There's a lot of them working in the psych industry. Keep the ones that are working and doing the right, getting positive results, and then get more people who would work and behave like them in that industry to fill out, all the loss that they have from the people they have to get rid of.
You know what's crazy though? I was thinking about this. I'm sure
Mm.
the majority of their customers don't want accountability.
No, they don't.
The people that are constantly going to therapy.
Yeah, the clients, right?
Yeah.
They want an advocate. They don't want treatment.
Yeah. They want
They hate getting the
positively reinforced for their lies.
right, right. How can you teach me to keep doing the bullshit that I'm doing? How
Yeah.
can I get away with it, and how can I profit from it in
Yeah.
my own fucked up way?
Yeah.
Um, and that's where you have things like dialectic therapy that many, especially like pathological therapists and counselors themselves, will employ with their clients to help reinforce their bad behaviors and then reinforce the therapist's bad ideations as well.
Oh yeah.
Like I said earlier, it's a cycle of fuckery,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it keeps it going.
It does.
That's why they need to get rid of those people
Yeah. But those
to the
people are
point where they just say, "I
every.
don't want to do this job because it's too hard."
Yeah. Right. So tighten up on the standards.
Right. And
Okay.
that standard is employed through the DSM.
But does the APA even follow the DSM? I've never
Yeah,
seen
the
the big one
the
or
D,
or
the
recent.
APA is supposed to actually be the publisher of the DSM.
Oh, that's their book?
Yeah. Take a look at page one. Should be in the
American Psychiatric Association.
APA. Yeah.
Oh, there's two APAs. I forget that
Psychiatric is the
they
top tier of the psych industry. These are the people
those
that
are the
actually,
actual doctors that can prescribe
yes,
meds.
correct.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking in the back of this. It was cool. It
Shit
had
rolls downhill from there.
right. So are you saying the APA, Psychological Association, does what the Psychiatric Association does?
They filter it. They take what the Psychiatric Association publishes, and then they filter it through with their own type of styles, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at this state mental hospital systems with statistical offices, and I was going down the list, and it's mostly men.
Well, back then, yeah. Now it's all like women's of color.
Yeah, that's true.
I showed you that. I showed you the article when they were talking about the DSM-6, and it's like all women. It was like
Yeah,
one guy, I think,
yes,
and
yes.
of course it would be because the industry is polluted with women. It is what 90 something percent. I don't know what the figure was, but it's up there.
Sure, it's a lot. That's crazy. By the
So
way, hello, Contriver. Good to see you, Anton. Long time. Chrome Dome. Hmm.
I'm going with Mega.
For some reason, Anton and CJ usually come around the same time. A
But
big look at
anyway,
follows from the equality thesis. If groups don't differ innately, persistent disparities must be blamed on hidden discrimination.
yeah, but they try to look for like microtransgressions and shit.
Yeah,
They'll blame any kind of persistent disparity on there's a microtransgression happening. We need to find it, and they'll search and search vigilantly through that group to find out who's committing the offense.
yeah. You know what else they call discrimination? If you don't tolerate chaos or
Hmm.
tolerate lying and cheating and stealing.
Or deviancy.
Yeah, which is
You have
weird.
to tolerate the brony. If
Yeah,
somebody dressed up as a pink pony comes at you and tries to wave their pecker in your face, you
yeah.
just gotta fucking grin and bear it, dude. Just
Yeah,
gotta grin and bear it.
that's insane.
Unless you're a white male, that you can't do that. But
That's insane. That's insane, Johnny.
it's how it is. But that's why things do have to change and go back to basics. I'm not saying that it needs to go back to the Ozzy and Harriet days and Eisenhower America and everything like that. I'm not advocating for that. We want to have those days are over and done. We want to have a new day. We just want to have a new future that's efficient,
I mean,
that works.
did this go over treatment ideas?
Yes, it does, way at the end.
Oh.
And it's very brick and mortar.
Yeah.
It's not even just like the treatment ideas are not open for suggestion. They're not
Mm,
open for analysis. It's just like here's what you do in this situation when you have a patient that does X, Y, or Z.
yeah. Did
It's
it
like
say did,
follow it, and you'll be fine.
did it say anything about encouraging their delusion?
Okay, you're talking about reaction formation.
Yeah.
Reaction formation is what happens when the therapist winds up getting compromised by the client or the patient and begins to, well, what they're not supposed to do, advocate for the poor behavior or the personality disorder of that client, where they wind up siding with their pathology. You're supposed to side with the client to help them, not to persist in what was bringing them in the first place. You don't want to bolster their failures. You don't want to perpetuate them.
Yeah.
And also, you don't want to form a reaction where you're absorbing them and committing them yourself.
Mm.
So yes, crazy bitchery is fucking contagious.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is.
And that's where the psych community understands, yeah, you have to make sure that you yourself don't adopt those behaviors.
Yeah.
So it's a good point you bring up. Absolutely.
I want to know about this Harvard study that Dr. Cochiello was talking about. I checked again to see if she answered my question, and she hadn't. But this smother mother is calling smother mothering protective parenting. That's her words.
Can you post that up there? Do you have that?
I don't have it. I watched.
Damn. All right.
Did I send it to you?
Yeah, I think you did. Hold on. Let me dig through my Discord. It should be up
Hello,
in there.
Tom. Good to see you.
I don't know how to
No.
like.
I mean, she said a lot of good stuff in there. That was interesting. I call bullshit on being in an abusive marriage for 27 years and 11 months before she even realized it
Okay, here she is.
I call bullshit on that.
Understanding the Cult of One with Richard Grannon, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hang
She
on.
mentions this Harvard study twice, though, and I think because she's been a career woman. She's been a boss. I mean, she's doctor, right? She's
There
very
it
well
is.
credentialed in the field, in the cult field.
Hmm.
But there's I want to know about this Harvard study that she brought up twice because she was like, because I know this Harvard study, and because of this Harvard study, like
Okay.
wondering if that is linked to her perception of her husband after 27 years, 11 months,
Oh,
or whatever.
maybe. Yeah, she's internalizing it, right, and applying it to her marriage.
Maybe. I don't know. I want to check it out, though. I tried to find something
Hmm.
in epigenetics. But, all right, I'll put this in here. It's quite interesting. Yeah, I call bullshit on thousands also.
Uh-huh.
She gave off a vibe of, I like that divorce coach that had this best-selling book, and you look at,
Right. Well, I mean, I think that any divorce coach is reprehensible, just
yeah,
a foul human being. The only thing that um, even if there's somebody that wants to like help people that have suffered a divorce, then you still risk the fact of a grifter. You get what they call Goodhart's law, or the Cobra effect. You know, this person might be instrumental in creating divorces to get more business. You know what I
right.
mean? Got to be careful of that. The Cobra effect was when British colonists in India were garrisoning different parts of the Indian kingdoms, I think in the north. Okay, and there was a plague of cobras that were infesting different towns. And what happened was,
Like snakes.
yeah, the snake, right?
Yeah.
Because you get them in India, they're there, right? Right. Okay. So what happened was the the British were saying, we will pay like 2 rupees for every fucking cobra head that you bring us. So what was happening was the um, the Indian population, they were getting out their kukris and machetes and stuff, chopping off cobras' heads and sending them into the British garrisons for payment. Somebody got the bright idea, all right, because you know gaming the system is a virtue. There,
Right.
they would breed cobras to keep the cobra population going, so people could keep getting paid, so they didn't run out of they didn't run out of a supply of cobra heads.
Yeah.
And then the garrison got wise and said, okay, we're going to stop that. Just we'll help you kill the off the cobras without payment. And eventually that problem sorted itself out. But what was happening was they found out that they could game the system for profit. Goodhart's law is where you take a metric, all right,
Mhm.
like a quota, and people are going to game the system to meet that quota. So to either get a reward or to keep from getting punished. So, like in Soviet Russia, if you didn't want to go to the gulag, you needed to go ahead and create X number of nails at the nail factory. So what they were doing was they were creating these tiny little nails that nobody could use. They were making that were really quick to produce.
Yeah.
So what was happening was, yeah, they were making nails. Yes, they met their quota. No, nobody would be punished, but the nails were totally fucking useless. So what they said is, aha, you sneaky bastards. I will make you I will make the quota by weight. You have to
Mm,
produce so many quotas with this amount of tonnage per quarter or whatever. All right.
mhm.
So what did they do? They made these huge fucking spikes that nobody could use. They met the tonnage, they met the quota, they weren't punished, but nobody could use the nails. And
Hmm.
that's called Goodhart's law. And
Hmm.
it it's very easily exploitable if somebody finds a way to game the metric.
Yes.
And you have to take a look at your job and think, how is somebody like what kind of metric do I have? What kind of quota do I have in place? And how are people gaming that? Is somebody trying to pull a fast one on the company by trying to find an exploit in a quota system? That's why the state of Wisconsin, the cops don't have a quota system. Our governor said it's constitutionally, per the Wisconsin State Institution, unconstitutional.
Well, that's
So
good.
at the end of the month, you don't have to worry about speed traps or people saying, you sped when you didn't.
Right, right, right. I don't think I'm a fan of a quota system. Like,
No, why would you be?
I mean,
You wouldn't need one if people were productive as they were supposed to be anyway.
right, right, right.
Quota
Hmm.
systems are there to incentivize, either through reward or through fear, like an operant conditioning, to
Yeah,
make people do their fucking job.
yeah,
Okay, but if you go back to basics, and you hire the people that do what they're expected to do by those rules, you know, adhere to those metrics, you wouldn't need one in the first place. That's why, like Wisconsin State Police are very careful on who they recruit and hire onto
mm,
the force.
yeah. Hmm.
They feel that there's no need to enact a quota because
They just
there's
automatically do their
they
own damn job.
automatically do their
They're
damn job and they
responsible,
right.
accountable, courageous individuals.
Yeah, exactly. They have really badass cars too. Looks
They're
like Mad
adults.
Max. I love it.
Really?
Yeah, Dodge
Hmm.
Chargers. But
Mm, that's cool.
anyway, I'm gonna get going. All
Hey,
right. I
Johnny.
thought we had a
Okay.
great time. Thanks
We did too.
for having me on here tonight. I think we do kind of need a part two when we get the DSM-2. Maybe we can
Yeah.
compare and contrast it at some later date, and
Yes.
then I'll be able to talk to you about that. What do you have to say about tonight?
I just, yeah, discipline, accountability, and going back to the basics. I just, for some reason, what James Sexton said about the victim is the one that's going to be taking accountability.
Yeah,
Really, because I was like, that's exactly it.
that's what you look for.
That's what you look
Who's
for with
taking
action.
accountability?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-oh,
could you
Contrivers
send that?
said, oh yeah, I can send it. I think I saw it on
Yeah.
Instagram. I can
Okay.
send it to you.
Okay.
I'm sure I gave it a like.
Okay. Okay.
Contrivers said, Ma, wait, I'm coming up.
Okay. Well, I could trade you with Contriver, okay? Because I got to get going.
Bye,
All
Johnny.
right. All right. You have a great day. And coming up on Wanted Contriver. Talk to y'all
Yeah.
later. Hello,
Bye.
Contriver. See you guys.
Hmm. Certain people are more hardworking and had higher integrity. They would have a better job. Those bottom, whatever percent jobs wouldn't get filled. Integrity. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not necessarily talking about a bottom percent job. We have DIE infecting something that's built into our Constitution. So, it's a very important part of our country's founding and structure. I think I'm going to end this stream and just wait backstage for you, Trevor, because I have to go potty. Opening laptop. Yeah, what's crazy is when I see people describing incidences, they use passive aggressive as terminology. Oh, device not connected. Hello. Can you hear me?
Am I audible?
Yes. You are.
I'm sitting in the back room actually. Uh,
Okay.
yes, yes. So I just wanted to say hello, and this series has been quite, something to learn from, to obtain information regarding the psychological traits and everything. And what
Mm.
Mr. Johnny Midnight said is really, really correct regarding the Cobra and the Garrison, history regarding historicism. And I attest to the fact that people were breeding cobras at that time.
Right?
So, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
the road to hell is always paved with good intentions. So I understand that.
Yeah.
I totally attest to that fact. And it has been one hell of, enlightenment for me as well, because I wanted to learn something. I did, and I want this series actually to continue. Part two, part three, part four. You just keep it coming.
Okay. I had an
Yeah.
idea. I wanted to touch base with you because I have some legal questions.
I mean, after you end the stream or on the
Yeah,
stream itself?
after we
Okay,
end this.
fine, fine, fine.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
fine either way.
Yeah, yeah. Can we do that? Okay.
Yes, sure.
Say bye to everybody. Bye, Tom. Bye,
Goodbye,
CJ.
everybody. Thank you. Salute.